and today we have a reading for you about somebody who is willing to do whatever it takes to win. Maybe it's a local marathon, maybe it's a prom queen, but we have this individual who feels like whatever they have to do, it's worth it because the only way they'll be happy is if they get this victory lap, right? Moon is in the reverse because we have some not great motives and intentions. They don't care who they have to throw under the bus or who ends up heartbroken because they don't have a chance at winning. They only care that they're the one who gets that victory. So let's call on spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. You can find that email address in the description box in case I said that too quickly, as well as more information on how to become a member and also how to find my homemade soy candles on Etsy if you're interested in one. Let's dive in with the Shadowscapes Tarot and see what else we've got. Hello, Joaquin. How are you doing? I hope you are as well. What else do we have about this? Hello, Melissa. I hope you're having a good day. We have the Sun in the reverse and the Six of Wands in the reverse. Five of Wands and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So I think in someone's haste to be so focused on getting the winning title or, being prom queen, they lose sight of the other things in their life, or they lack the focus that they require in order to be able to pull this off, because we still have a Six of Wands in the reverse. This is someone who's obsessed with winning, but I don't think they're going to end up winning. The Sun in the reverse, they're ignoring or like dismissing principles or morals that normally they would follow or were previously important to them. And they are too quick to jump into battle, or they are too quick to assume that they have the favorable position here in an argument or a battle. This is like someone, obsessively working out ahead of like an arm wrestling tournament. And then they show up, they're confident they're going to beat everyone because they have the biggest muscles. And then they get beat by someone who has more of a toned look as opposed to muscular. They focus on the wrong element, or they get lost in the details. And even though it's the only thing that seems to matter to them, they end up fumbling this victory. Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. The Tower. Three of Cups in the reverse, and Temperance. So even though we have a person who seems to be pretty focused or obsessed with cheating or finding a way to get a victory even though they haven't earned it, there is some failure here or someone else who steps in and is like, no, I don't think so. That's not how we do it here. Maybe there is like an administrator of the competition. Maybe there is some video recording that shows they were willing to sabotage someone else's play or plants. Hello, Erasable. How are you doing? Hello, Key Controller. Exactly. What else do we have? Wheel of Fortune. Feeling like they can control the outcome. Assuming that they have everything figured out. But then with the Five of Cups in the reverse, it's like they should have spent more time reviewing the situation. They're not going to be handed this victory because they didn't do it right. It's like you went through all that trouble to make sure that you got crowned prom queen, and then you show up late and they disqualify you. There's something here where at the last little bit they ruin it. And despite being like obsessive about it, they don't get what they want. So we have a decision being made, and it ends up that whoever was trying to control this, they have no control. They set it up the wrong way, or they didn't fully appreciate what was going on. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? What else do we have? 10 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the High Priestess. Why do I feel like there's someone here like eating popcorn, watching security camera footage? Like, oh, you think you can cheat? You think you're gonna win like that? But let's see what I can do to ruin it for you. This High Priestess is somebody who is very secretive and very wise. They see what's going on and they're like, oh, so you think you can just like control everything? And I feel like they report this person, or they find a way to make it impossible for them to control it. This is the Oracle of Heaven and Hell. Hello, Vinny. How are you doing? In general, Mark, I don't really agree with absolutist type statements. To say that there is no winning at all, disagree. There are people who win basketball games. There are people who win promotions. There are people who win bets. You can't really argue against that. However, there are some people that invest too much in the did I win or did I lose? The winning, I think that matters is more the cumulative kind. Have you consistently lived the morals and principles that are important to you? Because I would consider that winning, you know? What else do we have? Seer, dangerous writings. Really? I don't think I've seen this card yet. So remember I said something about someone like watching and seeing that there was someone wanting to mess with the outcome? There is something written down. Maybe it's a password. Maybe it's we're riding at dawn. There's something that was written down that gives away this person's plans. Salos, forgetfulness and release of unpleasant thoughts. I think we have someone who has some important information written down, such as a password, or here's what we're going to do, a little plan, right? And they forget it. Oh, hey, is this the local Hardee's? I just wanted to call and see if you found a notebook there. Yeah, it's just my plans of world domination. No, yeah, can I have it back? You stole it. But how am I supposed to take over the world? Like, they have these plans, or they're talking about these plans, and they let someone else see it. There's a little bit of Pinky in the Brain action here, it kind of seems like. Hello, Rachel. How you doing? Did I say hello to Key Controller? I think I did. Hello, Hannah. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. Wow, okay. I pulled 3 cards, and all 3 of them are with the more like devilish side. Hagenti, luxury. I'm doing what I'm doing because if I win the poker game, then I can spend that money on the things that I really want, and I feel like I deserve them, okay? Let's see what else we have. This is the Stained Glass Tarot. Hello, Ritesh. How are you doing? Ritesh, you really think I'm that dumb? Actually, it doesn't matter what you think. I'm not that dumb, and I know very well, like, I have a very controlled environment for recording. So don't waste my time, and don't waste anybody else's time. I'm just gonna put you in a little baby timeout. Just like 5 minutes. And when you come back, you can apologize to me. Sound good? Hello, Jubilee. How are you doing? Thank you, Hannah. General reading. I got you. Hello, Delinia. How are you doing? 30 seconds to repent. Yep. Unless we were talking about Freya, but she's just made of stone. What else do we have? He said it's just the moon, and look at what card comes out first. That's funny. Really? Oh, I'm so glad. It will become more and more second nature to you to trust in that. Your intuition's just getting stronger. We have the moon in the reverse, 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the 3 of Pentacles. Sorry, 5 of Pentacles. The 5 of Repentacles. That's just for you, Key Controller. So we have moon in the reverse, indicating that not trustworthy energy, right? We had that at the very beginning from the Thoth Tarot. But with the 7 of Pentacles in the reverse, they didn't finish their task. They left their plans sitting at the, what did I say, Hardee's? I'm not getting paid for that, by the way. Now I want mushroom Swiss burger. Dang it. We got somebody here who is going to lose out on what they imagine to be just like a wonderful day of winning because they let their plans get discovered by somebody who has integrity. Page of Wands. I do feel like this is a younger person. So this could be a rather arrogant individual who has some experience and some reason to believe that they might be able to influence others or have control over the situation. But the reality is we have someone who I think gets exposed by an inexperienced or younger, maybe even less trusted person, but they got receipts. 8 of Cups in the reverse. The, what are we calling them? The moon individual who's obsessed with winning, they come back to try to recollect or find whatever they left behind, and it's not there. Oops, somebody knows about my plans. Hello, See the Gray, how you doing? So we've got the 6 of Wands and the Empress in the reverse. Oh, really? I'm the High Priestess. So this individual might be younger, right? Might not be the pillar of community that the person they find information on is seen as. But I also think they have some sort of, it's like a little bit of a grudge against this individual. Like, the one person you wouldn't want your secrets to be divulged to. Don't like that person. That's who this is to the moon. The individual who's cheating, who's obsessed with winning, they leave their plans open, or they leave them behind. They're discoverable by someone who already doesn't like them. Like, oh, you were planning on robbing a bank, huh? Yeah, you're the person I quit working for because you just don't take care of your team. And now, oh gosh, now I have to make a decision as to whether or not I should, like, report you. Yes. Yes, I will. Hello, Tiana. How are you doing? Accidentally run 10 miles. I hope it's from gym choices instead of working too much. But at least if you work too much, you make some money. Knight of Swords and the Queen of Swords. I got this information. I got some receipts. And I think I might have to sell it to like, oh, I don't know, TMZ. I know they would probably want me to keep this to myself. I know they really are obsessed with winning, but I think I'm going to tell everybody what's up. Hey, Mike. This is me not upset by your comment. Thanks for stopping by. We've got someone who's not going to be pleased because their little plan that they have obsessed with for ages, they ruined it themselves. There's nothing worse when, like, yeah, maybe they'll get mad at this high priestess, this younger individual, does not have to be a woman, by the way, this younger individual who reports them, who finds their plans. But really, I think they should be mad at themselves, right? It's not about who found the information. They left the information open. Maybe they didn't have a lock on their phone. Maybe they mailed something to the wrong address. It's their fault that that plan gets discovered. Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups. But they want to blame someone. There's nothing worse than when you're mad and you can only be mad at yourself, right? Ah, yes, that's good advice. Oh no. Well, Rachel, I hope you still enjoy walks. That's my preference anyway. I ran a 5K just to say that I did it, and I don't ever want to do it again. I mean, I guess like if it was the right charity, but I would probably walk like half of it. I'm just being honest, you know? Or or if they had like queso and chips on like, you know, like a fishing pole thing, and they're like, okay, Carmen, you gotta run for it. And you're like, okay, so that's what I just had for lunch, if you're wondering. The Lovers in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles. I don't owe you my loyalty. Why would I do something to help you? Why would I not report you trying to cheat so that you can win? I think with this Ace of Pentacles, we have someone who may even try to pay someone off. So I know you discovered what was on my phone the other day, and I don't know, maybe I thought this like $20 bill would help you decide to just like keep it to yourself. Oh, $20? I'm sorry. What does that even buy in today's market? Lowballing me. I see how it is. I don't think there's a way to salvage this. The moon, the person who's obsessed with winning, they're just kind of, they're done. They no way to like recoup this loss. Magician and the Emperor in the reverse. You might feel like you have, I don't know, more power. Maybe you have more money. Maybe you're older, but I know how to get you in trouble with the law. And I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids. Oh, goodness. All right. Let's see what else we have. This is the Signs of the Times. Ice cream van. That would be a good motivator. I'd still prefer cheese, if I'm honest. Did I say hello to James? Just in case. Hello, James. Hello, B. How are you doing? We have chance, dice, gambling, and yin yang, balance. So I think the individual who wants to control the outcome has assumed that everyone is like to some degree corrupt or willing to take a bribe, but they encounter someone who I think is actually taking a little bit of pleasure in making this person squirm. Like, I know that money would be helpful or whatever, but I think it's actually much more satisfying for me to know that you are going to lose. That's worth a lot more than $20. So we have possibility and globe, especially if this person broke the law. Because now, not only are you not going to win, but I'm also going to report you to the authorities. Mwahahaha. This is the situations deck. The Irish cheese wheel races then. Sign me up. What else do we have? Verge, about to reveal or confess. Desire. Lockdown, mental prison, confined, and today. So just as they are about to get, they think, what they want, we have someone realizing, I think today, that they've messed it up, that they're not actually going to be able to make it work, that somebody is in on their plan. I think this is the High Priestess, and normally I'm not a fan of the drama queen, okay? Normally I'm like, just chill, right? But this is someone who's like, no, I'm totally fine with you just having a really bad day because you thought you could control everybody else, or you thought you could just do whatever you want. I think they tried to buy off this person. So, oops, you saw my plans. They might not be legal, but it's okay if I pay you $40, $80, $100. Nope, I'm not interested. It doesn't matter what you pay me. I actually really just want you to get in trouble for thinking that you could choose who wins when you really can't. Let's get a few more from the Tarot of the Nile. Thank you for liking the video. Hermit in the reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Knight of Swords in the reverse. Maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but I guess, I don't know. If you're willing to sabotage other people or cheat to win, I don't really have like a lot of empathy for that. I feel bad for you, son, but like you probably deserve it if something gets in the way of you winning because you were not supposed to win. It should be, you know, who has the best apple pie, who crossed the marathon line the first time. Like, I think that's just how we do things, right? So someone who felt like they could control it, and now they're realizing that they can't. Womp, womp, womp. I do think there could be some breaking of the law that happened. And as a result, there could be some long-term consequences for this person. So I haven't thought about this in a long time. Oh gosh, what's his name? You know, the guy that did the like bike bracelet thingy. I mean, I can picture his face, but I really can't remember his name. If y'all can remember, you let me know. But I think there was something about him cheating, right? Am I remembering that wrong? I don't know if I can look it up. And I can't remember his name. I feel a little bit sad about that. How's it going? Suvik, I hope your day is going well. I want to run YouTube ads to promote my educational course. Will I get students? Will I be successful? I have added that to the list. Thank you, Suvik. And we are probably about 9 minutes or so away from doing personal questions. Hello, Anthony. If your name is Lance, hello, Lance. So we've got someone who might actually lose what they really wanted to win and then also not be able to like enter that contest anymore. Sorry, you can't like um try to win best pie. You are banned from this contest because you were trying to cheat. Death in the reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. And the person who has been how do I say this? There could be someone who is paid off, or there could be somebody who was looking the other way. Oh, you're right. Lance Armstrong. Yes, that is. And then, like, the thingy, the bracelet had strong on it, right? Live strong? Yeah. But didn't he cheat at something? I feel like he cheated. And then I think he got, like, banned or something. I've been wrong before, so it wouldn't be shocking. But hello to Tensions. I hope you're having a great day. He did the steroid thing. Okay, that's it. Lance, why did you do that? You were so great. You didn't need to do that. Why did you have to win? You already had so many wins. Didn't he have like 7 in a row or something crazy like that? This is someone who's getting a little greedy over the winning. So they take action, but see how this wand is behind, homie? I feel like this is the thing that they forget. Oh no, I forgot my steroids on the bench. Now somebody knows. Hello, Steven. Yeah, there might have been multiple things, but yeah, I do think it was the Tour de France. And then I think he also like cheated on Sheryl Crow. I might have made that up. I know they dated. Cheat on a bike race, cheat on a relationship, probably, right? Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Ugh. Yeah, this is not like a slap on the wrist. Like, you shouldn't cheat at Monopoly. That's not fair to the kids that are playing. This is something that has a legal consequence. Like, now you can't participate in this ever again. Or you've been like banned from multiple races because we know you were cheating, right? What else do we have? Judgment, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, 3 of Pentacles. This person gets kicked out. You're banned. You wanted to put your thumb on the scale. You wanted to ensure that you were going to win when somebody else was actually supposed to win. Then now you have 0 options in the future. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. I said it backwards, but you still laughed, right? 9 of Swords in the reverse. And the 7 of Wands. Because there's someone here who's very interested, and probably more than one person, in saving or like prioritizing the integrity of the competition. We don't want anybody to think they could just like roll up and like have some steroid win, no issue, right? We have to make sure that we make an example of this person who thought that they could cheat their way to victory, so that we don't deal with copycats, so that we don't deal with somebody else who's like, oh, I could do that too. So I think this ends a career. And probably this person could end up being like canceled, or their reputation is ruined, right? All right. The image in my mind, and maybe it's because we just had Easter, is an Easter egg hunt where it's like, 5, 6, 7-year-olds looking for Easter eggs. And then there's like this 25-year-old who's like, I'm going to get them all before these kids do. Like, you're missing the spirit of the activity here. Let's be a little bit more, I don't know, loving or mature. What else do we have? Where are we? 29? Okay. Let's get a few from What's the News. What else do we have, please? Hello, Ritesh. Hello, John. The best way to answer that, John, is yes. However, there's still multiple outcomes possible. There's paths you can choose. So if there is something that is super likely but has a alternate ending, I like to make sure that you're aware of that. But a lot of times how things end up are actually like directly tied to the choices that you have yet to make, right? What else do we have? If you ever took symbolic logic, John, that's how I envision it because I loved that class. If this, then that, right? If M, then N. So we've got sneaky link and paranoid. So this could be someone who was rejected or even had a little bit of a fling with the person who wants to claim victory. And then they turn toxic. So it's like, oh, I already have a reason to not like you, and now I just so happen to be in the right place at the right time to expose you for a thing you did that broke the law? That's interesting. And I'm going to keep in mind when I report you that you weren't there for me. You weren't very like considerate of others. So why should I pause and think about your needs right now? And this individual who was really certain that they could eke out a victory here, the moon in the reverse, they're confused. They feel like anyone could be bought off. What do you mean you don't care about money? What do you mean you don't want my $20 tip? That would be enough for most people. Nope, sorry, my morals aren't for sale. And they looked up the consequences and realized that was actually quite worth it. You mean if I report them, they're never going to be able to compete again? Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. So I do think there's a chance they used to date or there was a crush. And now this individual, the high priestess, is able to report their ex or the person that rejected them or that was very rude to them for cheating, breaking the law. Be kind. You never know who might be able to report you. All right, let's move to the personal questions. We've got Hannah and then Suvik. We'll go with the Blood Moon Tarot for Hannah. What do we have for Hannah, please? What does Hannah need to know? It's true, James. What does Hannah need to know, please? Nine of Dreams, which is the Nine of Swords. Three of Skins, or Three of Wands in the reverse. Page of Honey, which is the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Five of Dreams, or the Five of Swords. So we have some sabotage energy or some kind of like overly combative energy. And I feel like this is a family member or a friend. There's someone here who is unexpectedly causing anxiety or frustration based on their unwillingness to be considerate or listen to your side. I see this person looking away or like their back facing you as very significant. Someone who's not there when you need them or someone who doesn't want to understand your side of the story. Queen of Honey, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Honey, or King of Pentacles in the reverse. This is someone who presents themselves as very loyal or a reliable friend, someone you can call on when you need, you know, to borrow $5 or, hey, I need a sweatshirt and you got one. Can I borrow it? And yet, with the King of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like they generally don't follow through on that. So they've like curated this perception or this reputation, and either they've changed or that was never really them. Judgment. I see you as this Judgment card because you're facing forward and you're like, oh, okay, so is that your decision? Like, what's going on here? Let's talk about this. And they don't want to face it. They want to, it's like, I don't want to talk about it because then I have to admit to myself that it's not a very good thing for me to do. Two of Dreams, which is the Two of Swords, but it's in the reverse. So someone's made a decision. I feel like they're choosing to be loyal to themselves instead of being a good friend or like having your back. I don't think this is romantic. And they're presenting themselves as someone you can count on when they really aren't. Three of Songs or Three of Cups in the reverse. Two of Songs or Two of Cups in the reverse. So I see a falling out or an argument between you and this person. King of Wands or King of Skins in the reverse. And the Nine of Honey or Nine of Pentacles. This is someone who wants to be able to count on you to do things to make their life easier, but they're not around when you need them. I had this friend that I'd known for ages, and I had this like 6-month gap where we didn't talk to each other because one day we got on the phone and yet again she called me up, spoke like a million miles a minute about how rough her day was and didn't once ask how my day was or had to jump off the phone as soon as they were done talking about their own day. And I was like, this isn't really feeling like friendship to me. It feels like I'm an unpaid therapist and you call me whenever you have something to vent about, but you never ask me how I'm doing. You never seem to want to help me with what's going on in my life. And that doesn't seem like friendship. So she stopped talking to me for 6 months. Ooh, that was hot. And then, we tried to make it work after that. Same problem happened. Just very focused on whatever was going on for herself. That's what this is kind of reminding me of. Someone who doesn't seem to know how to actually be good or be there for you. What else do we have for Hannah, please? Hello, Carla. How are you doing? Hello, Stephen. What else do we have? We have the Fool in the reverse. The Knight of Honey, which is the Knight of Pentacles. King of Swords. I'm wrong. King of Cups. And the Knight of Wands. So this seems to be on your romantic life. We've got someone who has been working on themselves. Now this is either someone you've known for a while and you might be surprised that they are much more emotionally mature than they had been in the past. Or this is a new person and when you meet them, you might be really impressed with how strong their communication style is or how grounded and authentic they seem to be. This is someone who has come from the Fool in the reverse. They were not, they were repeating not great behavior or avoiding growing up, and then they stopped that. So we have kind of like an expedited dark night of the soul where this person has really mastered some of those emotional elements that weren't so great for them before. So emotional maturity and acceptance of what they want and what their responsibility is in the context of a relationship. This person, they have healed what blocked them in the past. What they had been blind to previously, they now see very clearly. 8 of Swords to the 7 of Cups in the reverse. I'm not blinded by that anymore. I'm not toxic anymore. So is this someone who's coming back around? No, this is a new person. So this would be someone that you have recently met or you are about to meet. I do feel like there's a lot of fire energy here. So they could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And then the sun comes out as I'm talking about Leo. That's funny. This person has likely got fire in their chart, probably Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But this is someone who is enlightened. They're no longer caught up by their immature ways, and they see, well, let's see, how do they view Hannah? The Tower. You change this person's perspective on commitment. I think this is someone who's like, yeah, I'd like to be in a relationship at some point, but it has to be the right person. I'm not just gonna like go chase that, you know? Then they meet you and they're like, ooh, I'm gonna get my running shoes on. I need to chase that because that's the person I want to be with. They change their minds, or they see the kind of connection the two of you could have as exactly what they have wanted. And they do lose a little bit of their confidence around you. So this would be somebody who they're fire sign, so I feel like they've got this like magnetic personality, but you might think they don't like you because they get a little bit like to themselves around you, like, I like you so much, I don't want to tell the wrong joke. What if you hate Chuck Norris jokes? What if you don't like Crocs? Like they get nervous, even though this person probably has a reputation for being really confident because they see you as the like epitome of what they want for a partner. So you'll know this person because they're uncharacteristically nervous around you and they respect you. Like you're almost on a little bit of a pedestal. So make sure we are looking eye to eye emotionally, right? Cheesy potatoes. I hope those are delicious for you. Good luck with that, Hannah. And let's see what we've got for Suvik. We have a possibility of doing some ads on YouTube to promote the educational course that Suvik is doing. Would those ads on YouTube be successful? Would that draw in students? Cherry in the reverse, 6 of potions or 6 of cups. Transformation in the reverse and the 2 of candles. So I'm seeing 2 different ways that you market or 2 different advertising plans. But I don't know that YouTube is the right way to go. We have Empress and Queen of Pumpkins in the reverse. So if you do YouTube, it's saying basically don't make that the lion's share of your spend. There's a way to be like going after the niche, the particular like part of the market that would make sense. And then there's something else, some other site that makes more sense. And that's where you should invest more heavily than YouTube. Tower in the reverse and the 6 of pumpkins or 6 of pentacles in the reverse. So I used to watch a lot of HGTV, like home remodeling stuff. I don't know what your educational course is on, Suvik, but I'm picking up on like a domestic HGTV type of outlet for advertising. Will that combo generate students for Suvik? Yes. Knight of Potions. Looks very like you did it, right? So take a dual approach, a little bit on YouTube, but not all your eggs in that basket. In fact, a majority of them in something that is more tied to domestic home stuff. Because there seems to be some overlap here with your target audience and that type of platform. We have the High Priestess and Strength in the reverse. I do feel like someone's going to mislead you regarding YouTube advertisement, and it could be that they tell you it's less expensive than it actually is or has a greater reach than it actually does. There's something here that is not accurate, in terms of reflecting what the outcome would be or what you're actually getting for the money. And this secondary option where you advertise is much more like the ROI is there, or click through rate, that kind of thing. So 8 of Swords or 8 of Lightning in the reverse, and the 2 of Lightning or 2 of Swords. There's got to be 2 different ones. So I hope that helps, Suvik, and I'm definitely like wishing abundance for you and your educational course. Of course, Hannah. Hello, Mark. How are you doing? All right. I think we shall leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. And sorry, Mark, for signing off right after you joined. But hopefully that means you can at least rewind to be able to see the live chat. I will see you on the next reading. Toodles.